All right, guys, welcome to the Chokehold Chat. This is the UFC Fight Night reaction. So we'll go from the least eventful all the way to the main event. Uh, Basically, the only fights that I want to talk about are the top three. Vicente Luque versus Joao Alvarez was kind of a weird one, with the knuckle in the eye and kind of like the timeout and stuff. It was weird. I thought that they should have just called the fight or just been like, "Can you go now? If you can go now, you could be in the fight. If you can't, then I gotta call it." Right? Gave himself some time to recover, and it's so weird because Vicente Luque, like, he looks good in moments of the fight, and then like the whole second round, I felt like he just didn't want to be there, and the third round too. It was just the weirdest thing ever. Just kind of staying in the fight long enough for Joel Alvarez not to be able to get a finish. So it was just weird. I think that for Luque, I don't know what's next for him at all. Maybe he needs some just time away from the sport or something. I know he's kind of been around for a while, but I don't know what's going on with that dude. For Joel Alvarez, if he wants to stay at welterweight, I would say probably give him like D-Rod or maybe Kevin Holland or something like that. Give him a ranked guy. And then the next fight, the Figgy fight. Figgy looked, yeah, I mean, he looked decent. It sucks because, like, Figgy was literally like Deuce Guerra, God of War when he was a 125er. Like, I wonder how horrible that weight cut is, because I bet it is horrible, but he did get there. And he does have a win over Pantoja. Like, literally, if he made the 125 cut, he could probably get a title fight after Pantoja beats Van. Because the division, I mean, Pantoja's lapped everybody. And just like Figgy's style works so well for 125, like, he doesn't really use a lot of feints. He doesn't really move his head a lot. But, like, he has like a presence in there at 125 that I think that he's missing at 35. I think that he can hang with the guys at 35 because he is championship caliber and stuff, but he's undersized. It's so weird. He's like a tweener, He's way too big for 125, but he looks small to me at 135. He really does. But yeah, I just wish that he would make that cut back down. I mean, because the dude's a legend. I mean, I love Brandon Moreno. I'm a huge fan. But Figgy going back down to 125 would be awesome. If he's going to stay at 135, I don't know really where he goes from now on. I think the only person in like the top five or ranked ahead of him that he hasn't fought is Song Yadong. They could do that. But I don't really see that going too well for Figgy. So, and then the guy that he was fighting tonight, going back to unranked fighters and getting dubs over those dudes. But this is what I'm talking about, though, right? Like, the same thing about the UFC Perth card. Like, none of these fights had anything to do with anything. No implications, no nothing. They're just fights, to put on. It's like, save some of those fights from 320. Throw them bad boys onto this card and make it a little better. But, whatever. Anyways, the main event. Kind of what I talked about when I was reacting to the news and stuff. I like Oliveira just kind of bossed up on Gamrot. Like, he has like that Figgy thing going where he's just huge for the weight class, and he, like, his presence, like, he was pressuring Gamrot the whole second round, like, just kind of pressuring him. Like, he did it basically the whole fight. The second round was weird though, because he wasn't really throwing punches a lot of the time. He was just like pressuring and keeping him like behind that black line. And yeah, just presence. And I told you guys, if he looks bigger in there, then I think that it's his fight. And yeah, like, the submission ability was just way too much. Gamrot takes like a first takedown right away. He's like in trouble. He's like guillotine trouble, omoplata trouble. He starts scrambling with Oliveira. Oliveira ends up on top, then ends up on his back, and just like wins the round. Like, horrible, right? Because now Gamrot's like, well, I can't wrestle this dude. And yeah, Charles just, I mean, but also too, Gamrot, you know, he only had a couple weeks. You never know if he had a full camp and stuff, but man, Charles Legend just grows stronger and stronger. And he calls for a BMF fight with Max Holloway. That's the one. That's the one that I was thinking about for the before this fight if he won. And afterwards, it just makes all the sense in the world. Max Holloway and Oliveira. Let's do it. Let's do it. I do think that Max probably wins that one, though. That's going to be a heartbreaker for sure. I like Oliveira a lot. And just the scenes, dude. Him with his family and his wife and running into the crowd. He's like beloved, illuminated by God, for real. And, you know, for Gamrot, I don't really think that this really does too much to his stock. You know, he didn't really, like, get, like, super damaged in this fight and stuff. I bet he could get right back in there. And you know, you took the fight on a couple weeks' notice. You did the UFC a favor. They kind of did you a favor, putting you in a good spot. But before this, nobody wanted to fight him, you know, so that's his problem. He's a good, I mean, his record, I think his record was like 25-3. So he's like 25-4, crazy record, bro. Like, that dude's very good. He's very good. That Dan Hooker fight was super close. A lot of these fights that he's, you know, dropped, he was competitive in, so yeah, I mean, but, you know, lightweight's a Shark Tank, dude. Guys in the hardest division to fight in. So that poor guy. I think he's gonna have a hard time finding fights. For real, I don't think any of those dudes want to fight him. But also too, that crowd. That's why they deserve better fights, right? Like, some of the fights from 320 should have been on this fight night because that crowd was amazing. Like, at the end for Charles and even for Figgy, they were great. Like, the crowd was good. And for Charles, it sounded like a bee's nest. It sounded like a beehive. It was crazy, man. Like, that's awesome. I love when, I mean, even if they do fight nights like this where, you know, only a couple of fights matter and stuff like that, just keep doing them out. You know, screw the Apex. Let's keep doing them out, because stuff like that, when I'm watching it on my couch at home, just makes it feel bigger. And it's just awesome, you know? Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, all that other stuff. And, yeah, that's all I got for you guys tonight. Bye.